I can mark it for
Hey.
SH3, SH4.
Hello, everybody. This is Terrell Jones. I'm going to wait a few minutes to let people arrive. We'll be back with you shortly. Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, and welcome to the VDIworks Introduction Webinar to Healthcare. If you're here to discover the best end-to-end solution for VDI, you're in the right place. My name is Terrell Jones, Director of Business Development, and I'm your host. And my co-host is Mohammed Umair. He goes by the name of Umair, and he is our VP of Software. There are some ground rules. Please hold questions until the end. There's a way to text questions through the chat, and we will answer those at the end. Please mute your phones to eliminate background noise. I think we have you all muted, but just in case, mute your phones. And before we get started, I'd like to begin with the end in mind. Please remember these things. If you don't remember anything else, remember these three things. VDIworks is half the price of VMware and Citrix, and twice as easy to install and manage, with high performance and security and vendor agnostic. So enough about that. I'm going to go ahead and get started. There we go. So about VDIworks. VDIworks got its start in 2007 in the city of Austin, delivering VDIworks solution to the OEM community. It wasn't until last year we started selling direct to customers. With over 20 patents and 5 generations of proven success, we are poised to capture the market and in the cloud desktop space. So you'll start hearing about us a lot more, and some good things happening here in the next couple of months. So healthcare challenges. As a former medical lab technician and Navy corpsman, I have over 6 years experience in the medical field, from clinics, hospitals, research labs, medical labs, and field medicine. I was one of the first users on the composite healthcare system used by the military hospitals around the world today. To be honest, I started my computer career from the hospital. And so I have a lot of experience in a military hospital, a civilian hospital, as well as a civilian research facility. Two things still prevail. We still require productivity and privacy. Today we have laptops, tablets, and mobile devices. Back then we had just desktops and Unix systems and terminals. Today doctors and clinicians need to have access to patient data while maintaining the flexibility to move around to different clinics and departments within the hospital or the clinic. This allows for better quality of patient care. Oops. So mission-critical apps and compliance. We have come a long way from the days when I was in the medical field. Today your doctor can prescribe meds to the pharmacy of your choice, and your prescription will be waiting for you when you get there. Now we are putting health records online with secure databases, and we are digitally sharing x-rays and C scans. Just the other day I went to the dentist, and I'm new to Austin, and my dentist was able to find the dentist I saw in San Antonio to get my x-rays for my teeth. She was also able to get my longtime dentist from the city of D.C. in Herndon, Virginia, for all the work that I've done for the last 22 years that I lived in the D.C. area. So technology's come a long way. And back in the old days, we'd have to carry that file with us or get a lot of permission, chain of custody to get that information from the doctor. But now everything's digital or a phone call away. Physicians and nurses should be able to access this data securely and rapidly to allow greater patient care, but within the legal guidelines of HIPAA, EHRs, and physician health information, or protected health information. So these compliance issues are very important to hospitals. There's serious fines associated with them if you do not meet them. You hear the stories all the time about doctors leaving their laptops in the airport and that patient data get in there. I think every instance is roughly $10,000 a pop. They get in trouble. So the unique thing about virtualization and desktop virtualization is that you can secure that data, and you would have to log in to get to that data. And if that data is lost, you can actually shut down that device and still maintain the data. So the solution. In the old days, your nurse would have to chase down your physician manually on foot or by telephone. Now the physician has a variety of tools to get information to and from medical staff to facilitate a positive patient outcome. Tools like VDIworks allows that to happen. So when you talk about security, we centralize the patient data and limit access to workstations and portable storage devices to ensure HIPAA compliance. And if you talk about management costs, we reduce desktop management overheads by controlling your environment through a single pane of glass, drastically reducing support costs. Performance and productivity, you're going to get better performance out of your workstations and reduce downtime for healthcare professionals because you're going to be freeing up time to focus on what they do best instead of worrying about the devices. Another aspect is you'll see inside of a doctor's clinic, they like to play with their new tablets or iPads. Well, you can do bring your own device, or BYOD, which allows healthcare professionals to use their iPads, iPhones, Android tablets, and a whole lot more to access their machines and patient data. So anytime, anywhere, workstations can be accessed anytime, anywhere, at any time through the secure architecture, allowing healthcare professionals to move around freely in large hospitals and clinics, and then repurpose existing hardware. Extend the life of your current infrastructure, such as servers and desktops, to be part of the VDI solution to further reduce costs. So the solution VDIworks offers is very robust. So features. I won't go too deep into technical aspects of VDIworks VDP. I will leave that up to Umair. In the meantime, here are some highlights. We have virtual machine pools and connection brokering, centralized management, data security and privacy, energy savings, application delivery, end-user specific profile management, vendor agnostic, and customized dashboards. And like I mentioned, I don't want you to ever forget it. If you don't remember anything, before VMware takes over, here's what I want you to remember. We are half the price of VMware and Citrix, twice as easy to install and manage, and then we have high performance and security and vendor agnostic. So here you go. Up we have Umair.
All right, thank you very much, Terrell. So my name is Mohammed Umair. I go by Umair, and I've been with VDIworks for a very long time, and by very long time I mean since 2007, which is an eternity in this industry. But that also says that I strongly believe in the products that we've created for the various verticals that we're in, and that I'm fully vested in where the trajectory of this company is. Now, the vision that we had in terms of what the product is essentially it's not just an orchestration layer. When we talk about VDI, we take an end-to-end approach to virtual desktop management. And what that means is that we've built the product keeping in mind the user's uptime, but at the same time the simplicity for the administrator to manage that environment as well. And since we have a background in system management as well, what we've done is we've taken every single aspect that is needed for a holistic approach for VDI, and put everything under a single console. And what that means is that we just don't spin up virtual machines. We manage the entire connection from that end user to the virtual machine that he's connected to, and everything in the middle, which includes the thin client, the zero client, the protocols, the servers, the hypervisors, everything that is associated with maintaining good performance for that end user. We go ahead and bring that up in a single console, so you don't have to do any switching around to multiple different types of interfaces in order to understand and then manage what is going on the network. Now, as part of that end-to-end solution that VDP provides, we're able to do universal discovery. And what that means is essentially anything that you have on the network, as long as we can install an agent on it, we can go ahead and discover it. But not only that, if there's an API integration that we can do, we go ahead and do that. So, for example, today, VDP is being used for managing VDI sessions, but it also has a system management aspect to it. So let's say you have your phones that are on the network and you want to go ahead and enable that as well through the single interface. We can go ahead and actually bring that hook in and be able to see your phones there as well, so that you can go ahead and perform a certain level of operations on that remotely. Excuse me. Inventory and health essentially is an asset management type of an operation, and anything that's on the network that we can go ahead and discover, we provide intensive inventory management on that as well. And that could be for RMA, that could be for just understanding what all you have on the network. Usually you need a third-party piece of software. You build that into the same product. We were the industry's first connection broker. Basically what a connection broker is essentially the rules associated with how a user connects to a session, and the management of that connection as well. So we wrote the very first connection broker in the industry back in about 2006-2007 timeframe, and we've been continuously evolving that connection in terms of its capabilities and nimbleness. Now, we also recognize that for a VDI administrator, being able to provide remote support for the end users is also very critical. And not only can you connect to the virtual machines console window, you can actually connect to the user's session window and be able to mirror what the user is seeing from his end. And that, may not seem much, but if you think about it, it's basically you trying to figure out what's wrong in the user's experience, and you rather see it from where the user is sitting at as opposed to at the server level. And you can go ahead and do that from the VDP console. Now, customized dashboards, essentially what that means is that you can be a small clinic which has 20 seats. The same product will be able to render a dashboard for you that explains to you what all you have. Or you could be a large hospital system comprising of multiple sub-hospitals and clinics, thousands of seats, and you can use the same console to be able to render and then manage that information as well, individually per hospital or per clinic, or as a cumulative view as well. And you can do that very cleanly through VDP. Hailing and alerting is our it's a feature that we have in the product that allows you to do automatic action. So for example, if something's going wrong with the virtual machine, we can very easily write a script that allows us to automatically self-heal. So for example, if a user accidentally deletes a certain set of files from, let's say, System 32, I don't know how he would do that, but if he was able to do that, and you'd be surprised what users are able to do, we can automatically regenerate that OS's set of files so that the user's end experience is optimal. And that is what the that is what our objective is, that at the end of the day, it is the user's experience that will dictate if a product is successful or not, or if your VDI deployment is successful or not. And in order to do that, we need to have systems in place that allow you to automatically revert to situations where performance was optimal. And you can do that through our solution. You have your standard power management solutions as well, not only for virtual machines, but for the hypervisors, as well as for the infrastructure, the physical infrastructure that's in place as well, for thin clients, for zero clients as well, so you can remotely do all of that. And we have certain level of API integration to all the hypervisors that are out there. So be that VMware's vSphere ESXi, or Zen Server, or Hyper-V, we try to integrate into the API level so that we can get you the best possible set of features that are available on every hypervisor. Now that also means that the hypervisors themselves may give you a different set of features, but we go ahead and provide access to all of them as a single pane of glass. VM pooling is the most critical part when it comes to a good VDI solution, in which is the capability of spinning up sets of virtual machines based on certain template files. We do it in a very clean fashion where you can go ahead and specify a golden image, and based on that golden image, spin up pools of virtual machines, be that on VMware or Zen Server. And then one of the other key aspects that we have is end-user device profile management, and I'll get into that a little later on. Now, that being said, those are not the only features that we have. I want to go back to the point that we're not just a VDI orchestration layer. What we are is basically we're a VDI orchestrator, but with the heart of a system administrator, and we embed all the feature sets that are actually needed by system administrators in order to maintain uptime for the end users. And these are some of the sets of features that we have in addition to what I've talked about. Now, some of the other key differentiators that we have, like I was telling you before, the end user device management profile, we have over 70 different parameters that help you customize the experience for the end user. Now, what does that experience really mean, right? So for example, if you want to run an environment in a kiosk mode, we can go ahead and enable that. If you want to give the end user a certain level of privilege in terms of what type of settings they can change, we can go ahead and do that. There are over 70 parameters that can very minutely change the experience and match it exactly to what your business case is. And we do that very elegantly, where you can go ahead and create profiles that you then associate with your groups. And you can have multiple profiles. So, in a large enterprise where you may have 20 different departments with 20 different business use cases, we can match all of them based on the end user device management profile functionality that we have. VM dynamic pooling essentially is the ability to rapidly stand up virtual machines in any environment. And we do that, again, with the help of a golden image. And we can then go ahead and recompose that, and that's a feature that's coming in the near future as well, where you can go ahead and today you can rapidly destroy pools as well after they've been used, but then we'll also be able to recompose dynamically as well and refresh dynamically as well in the near future. Again, health alerts and self-healing, the reason why I want to emphasize on that is because our competitors are not doing this. This is more of a system management function, but it is very relevant when it comes to a persistent desktop experience that you want to provide for your end users. And we can go ahead and create n number of different types of alerts that are autonomously being evaluated on the virtual machine layer to determine if the experience with the end user is optimal or not. And you can, one of the very regular ones that we get is if a particular process gets hung for whatever reason, and it is slowing down the end user's experience, then automatically go ahead and kill that process so that users get back the CPU and the memory that's been associated to them, and they can continue to use that without an administrator ever getting to their desk. Now you can tie in notification for the administrator over there so that when such actions are taking place automatically, at least the administrator has full visibility into what all is happening on the network, and they can use that information to then go ahead and recompose their VM pools in a different way later on. So it's a continuously evolving and improving situation where data is being fed out to the administrator, and the administrator can use that information to then go ahead and improve upon the install base. And again, once again, customized dashboards, and what that means is that you could be an MSP that provides services for several hospitals, and you could set it up where each hospital has their own individualized VDP server, but then you can also have a single master console that gives the MSP visibility to the entire environment to determine what all is happening in every single facility, and then be able to support that. Now I'm going to go ahead and hand it back to Terrell for further information. I'm going to be here as well, so if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them into the chat window. I'll be reading them, and at the end of the session, we can go ahead and answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. My sheet. So hopefully that's very detailed information for you, so we'll be able to answer your questions. I'm going to talk a little bit about vertical markets and close this out. VDIworks solutions work for a variety of industries, obviously healthcare and education, legal and financial, call centers, and government. I do have some exciting news. Can't release the name of the company yet, but at the end of the summer, we will be working with one of the largest telecom providers and cloud providers and delivering desktops in the cloud. So be on the lookout for some news on that. If you're a partner out there, feel free to talk to us about the partner program. I'll have my contact information at the end of this presentation. In addition to the program, I wanted to go into who we work with specifically as partners. We like to work with MSPs, cloud providers, system integrators, value-added resellers, as well as consultants. And again, there's some information that I can pass out to you about the partner program. So like I said before, if there's one thing that I want you to remember is that we are, and if I don't do this, I'm not doing my job. I want you to remember that we're half the price of VMware and Citrix, twice as easy to install and manage. We're high performance and provide security and vendor agnostic. And if you remember anything else, remember that. So that concludes our presentation on VDIworks and healthcare. Right now is a good time for questions. Feel free to use your text and we will answer your questions. Let's see, where are...
Dave says hello, so hello back, Dave. Also, as part of this webinar presentation stack, there's information for you all to reach out to us as well if in case you have some questions directly for us in an email that you want to send us. We'll be right on top of it, and we'll go ahead and answer those as soon as possible. You can call us, call Terrell directly, or you can email any of us, and we can go ahead and answer those. And again, today, we are in a position where we can go ahead and partner with service providers in the healthcare sector and other sectors, verticals as well, being one of the other key verticals that we're in. And we're able to go ahead and provide a certain level of features and functionality that relate directly to the SMB space for medical.
In addition, we are actively looking for case studies for the healthcare market. That means hospitals, clinics, doctors' offices, are eligible for this program. There are 10 free licenses involved for this program if you qualify. Make sure you get in touch with me to discuss. In addition, if you need a technical deep dive, feel free to contact me directly so we can set it up. How we typically work is that we like to offer you a software trial, project assessment, and then a proof of concept. So again, we thank you for joining us today, and feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Right now we don't have any questions, so I guess we will conclude this webinar. Thank you very much.